everybody, my name is Megan.
And I'm Cody.
And welcome back to the New Heights Kids YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing another experiment with bubbles. I'm so excited for this one. So today we're going to be making a bubble snake. Now that's kind of weird to think about a snake that's a bubble, but you'll see as we watch what I mean. So let's get into the video.
So as always, we have to go through all of the supplies that we will need for this experiment. Now, the first thing you're going to need is some sort of like plastic water bottles or just plastic bottles. And now you can use many different shapes or sizes. So you can see we have a little bit of a larger one here and we cut off the bottom. We'll show you why we need to do that next. And then we just have this regular size one, which we'll cut off so we can show you. You're also going to need some dish soap. We're just using Dawn dish soap. You're obviously going to need some water, so have that handy. You're going to need some sort of bowl that's big enough to kind of dunk the bottle in. So you're not going to want to use a small bowl, obviously a larger one. You're going to need some hair ties or large rubber bands. To make it really fun, you can use some food coloring, so we'll show you that. You can also do it without food coloring, so that's cool too. You're also going to need some, well, wash rags, or any other, I guess, any sort of rag. We're using a wash rag, but if you're going to be using food coloring, just know that these will be ruined. They will be turned to different colors. So you don't want to use mom's precious, wash rag, so be careful. And then obviously you're going to need a pair of scissors where we can, cut the bottle.
And so just as a pre-warning, if you are going to be using food coloring, the food coloring does stain your hands because it'll be coming through the bubbles. It'll be like kind of like a rainbow bubble snake that we're going to make with the food coloring. We just have to remember to try not to touch the bubbles or else they're going to make your hands full of food coloring and it's going to take a while to come off. So that's just a little warning before we get into this. Alright everybody, so the first thing that we're going to do for this experiment is we're going to take our plastic bottle. You're not going to need the cap for this because you're going to be using this end to blow through it. And then we're going to need to cut off the end of your bottle. So like this one as an example, we cut off the end of here. So you just have to be careful when you're cutting it because it is plastic. We don't want to cut yourself, so just be really careful. So we're just going to go ahead and cut the bottom of this container.
So now we have cut the bottom off of our bottle.
And so the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to take our bottles and then we're also going to take our rags and then our hair tie or large rubber band. And then we're going to take on the bottom of the water bottle, we're going to put the rag right on top of it. And then to secure the rag onto it, we're going to take our rubber band and we're going to place it just around the bottle, just like this. So the next part that we have to do can be a little messy if you're using food coloring. And on the bottom of this, if you're going to do food coloring, while this is dry, you're going to want to put the food coloring on top of this. So we're going to do that with one of our bottles, and then with the other one, we're going to do it without food coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on here. So the colors I have here are blue, red, and pink. So I'm just going to kind of put some dab on here. So like I had mentioned before, the food coloring is going to make our bubbles look like a rainbow. So that's what the fun part of this experiment is.
So as you can see on the rag here on the bottle, we were able to put a bunch of different areas of food coloring.
Now that I have my food coloring on this, Cody can take his, and what we need to do is just put a little bit of soap on our rag to help it soak in and make a lot of bubbles. Alright, well now that our soap and food coloring is on here, we can go ahead and make our awesome bubble snakes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this experiment outside because of the food coloring. We don't want to get it all over these tables. So we're going to go ahead, go outside, and we're going to show you how our bubble snakes work.
See you there?
Alright everybody, so the next thing we have to do is we're going to take our water. I'm just using a bottle water. It can be any type of water if you want to use for this experiment. We're just going to put a little bit in the bowl. It doesn't have to be too full, just enough for your towel to be soaked in it. Then we're going to take our soap and we're just going to go like this. Just like that. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch of soap because we already put soap on our rag. And now here comes the fun part. So we're going to start with the non-food colored one because as soon as we dip the food coloring in, it's going to change the color of the water. You go in, dip it, and all you gotta do is you gotta blow into this and watch what happens. Hey! So you gotta make sure that you're blowing into it, but you don't suck in the air because you don't want the bubbles to go into your mouth. So you gotta make sure you're very careful and only blow through this and not push the air towards you. And if it starts to run out like that, you can just re-dip it and go again. Isn't that cool? Cody, would you like to try?
Yes, I'd love to. Well, I don't know about you, but that was super cool, and I kind of want to go get a bunch of other food coloring and try all the different colors that we could possibly make, because that would be fun.
For sure. I think this is such a fun experiment, and I'm glad you guys can try it at home. And if you do, make sure that you tag us on our Instagram or Facebook at NHKidsAZ, because we'd love to see your bubble snakes. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time.
Bye!